Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me on this happy hour, November 10th, 2022. I got a little bit of extra for you. This is Off the Script, and I'm JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Thursday afternoons, wherever you may be. You know, it's funny, man. It's funny. A lot of people complain. They come in here, and they have no idea what I do, right? They have no idea what I do, and everybody wants to fucking chime in on how I conduct things here. Motherfucker, listen, you're getting the best sounding and the best looking video content from a podcaster in the entire wrestling community, and I do not stutter or hesitate when I say that. If you have a fucking problem with what I do here, there's the door. Get out. I don't need to hear lip from anybody. I'm waiting on YouTube to drop the purchasing of licensed music. You guys want to complain about copyright-free music? Get the fuck out. Seriously. Because when I actually, hopefully this YouTube thing is going to be sufficient, and they do it right. If I can buy licensed music, man, JD's got terrible taste in music. Number one, fuck off. No, I don't. Number two, if I had the choice to play what I want, everything would be so much better. You guys aren't ready for what I have potentially lined up as far as music is concerned if it does go the way that I want. Fuck out of here, man. Anyway, this is your Thursday. See, people are pissing me off already, man. People are pissing me off already. Why would you want to piss me off on a Thursday afternoon? Happy hour. Haven't even had a drink yet. You're here for the news. Shut your fucking mouth. That's it. And we have news. We have news, man. We got news on Bray Wyatt. Apparently Bray Wyatt is pushing Triple H to sign Erick Rowan and Bo Dallas. I don't know if we're ready for Bo Dallas back in WWE, man. I'd love to see it. He should have been aligned with Bray many years ago. I don't know why we're just talking about this now. Erick Rowan, last time we saw him, he was on AEW television doing God knows what. Apparently, Bray Wyatt wants to bring him back as well, potentially for a Wyatt 6 faction. We got news on John Cena. Rumors about John Cena are heating up already as WWE has one more pay-per-view for the rest of the year, and then we go right into the new year, getting ready for Royal Rumble season, WrestleMania season. John Cena potentially at WrestleMania, but against who? Against who? I have one notable name that I'd like to see go against John Cena on a list of 3 men for WrestleMania. We got news on Cameron Grimes to the moon. He may be making a main roster debut relatively soon after he finishes up with Joe Gacy. Bobby Roode may be back to glorious. Now we got news on King of the Ring, man. Triple H is doing exactly what I had hoped. We may be getting King of the Ring back in all of its original glory. And we're going to start with that right at the top because that's the most exciting piece of news that I have all week. WWE is going to, by the way, you guys, super chats are open. You can get them on in. Hit that thumbs up. I need 1,000 likes minimum. No questions asked. If you're in here, please hit the thumbs up. And you guys want to become channel members or re-up your channel membership, please do so, man. VIP room is always open, especially to those that fucking don't like the music, man. I'd love to fucking have you in there so you can get chewed out by my mods. So make sure you guys hit the join button and become a channel member. King of the Ring. King of the Ring. WWE is going to use the early 1990s format of the King of the Ring tournament. Triple H obviously he is one of those people that appreciates the old school, right? We all know this. He's a big fan of the old school. He's a big fan of wrestling history, is Paul Levesque. Following a report last week about the WWE talking about bringing back the King of the Ring tournament as a standalone event, there was speculation about how the company would handle the event. Now, I was excited when the news of the King of the Ring first dropped to the dirt sheets. I'm like, well, we got to do this right, okay? Vince McMahon hated tournaments, number one. Vince McMahon made a mockery of the King of the Ring tournament, number two. Anybody that won it used to be a fucking cartoon character, right? They used to joke around. They got nothing. They got nothing but a crown and a scepter and a fucking cape, and everybody was treated like an afterthought and a joke and a comedian, and nothing about it felt prestigious. He didn't make any new superstars. They rushed through the tournaments. The Queen's Crown tournament may go down as one of the worst tournaments in WWE history. King of the Ring tournament last year was a complete disaster. Xavier Woods won that. I said it right from the word go. We cannot be doing King of the Ring tournaments where the tournament happens week by week by week by week, and then we get a potential pay-per-view, and we get nothing but the finals at the pay-per-view. That's what Vince used to do. Or worst case scenario, semifinals on the pay-per-view, and we get 3 full-fledged matches from the tournament. It's not really a tournament. We already have watched most of the tournament happen before, the actual King of the Ring pay-per-view. It's not really what I want. Now, going back to the early 90s, 1993 to be exact, the King of the Ring tournament was absolutely tremendous. It's one of my favorite WWE pay-per-views of all time is the 1993 King of the Ring, the one where Bret the Hitman Hart won it. He went through Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect in the semifinals, which may be one of my favorite matches of all time against Mr. Perfect. It was easily their best match ever. And then he went on to beat Bam Bam Bigelow, only to be destroyed by Jerry the King Lawler at the end of the show, which I thought was tremendous. I thought that was great. We need that format back. And that's exactly what Triple H is thinking about doing. Now, a single night's elimination tournament is always the way to go. WWE has the option to do whatever they want, but that's the right way to go about it. WrestleVotes talked to GiveMeSport.com and said that there is a good chance that the event is coming back and the tournament will play out in a single night. He says, and I quote, "There's a very good chance that the King of the Ring tournament is back and likely back in the format that had happened in the late 80s. The idea is that every single match will happen that night." The Twitter account also added, in the 1990s, a lot of the matches happened on Superstars and Raw, and with the semifinals and finals happening on pay-per-view. If it's going to come back to pay-per-view, which I say is probably going to happen, we're going to have a full one-night tournament all the way up until the finals. So we're going to get the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals on pay-per-view. Absolutely. Absolutely fantastic. No doubt about it. It's the best way to go. The original report also stated that this standalone King of the Ring premium live event would also include, I don't know how this is going to work out, would also include the Queen of the Ring tournament. So we're going to get a King of the Ring full and then a Queen of the Ring full in the same night. Now, that also presents a very interesting situation. We're going to get more than likely a pay-per-view out of all of this. So basically, everything you're going to see on pay-per-view is going to be the tournament. And I love that. Now, if I was to make a recommendation to all this, you know, a lot of people, I see it already, I feel it already, people are going to start complaining, oh, well, the World Championship isn't defended on pay-per-view, how could they? It's nowhere in the record books that the World Championship needs to be defended at every single fucking pay-per-view. When you got something like the King of the Ring tournament, that should take precedence over everything else. There's nothing else that should be of the utmost importance there. That is the most important thing of the entire night. You're crowning a new king, a.k.a. a new number one contender. You're crowning a new queen, a.k.a. a new number one contender for your major singles championships. That should be the sole focus of the entire show. The focus of the entire show is to build new stars. Do you know the rich story that could be in the tournament? This is what I love about it. I mean, look at Bret Hart. I mean, it's the absolute, just down to it, perfect tournament. Bret Hart, he went through that entire tournament injured, quote unquote injured. Razor Ramon injured him in the first round, stomped on his fingers. He had no use of his fingers, quote unquote, per storyline going into his match with Mr. Perfect. Then Mr. Perfect fucking injured the rib cage. And then he goes into the tournament with Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan in the first round. And then he got a bye in the second round because Lex Luger and Tatanka which that match is one of my favorite matches of the entire King of the Ring tournament, period. That match was fucking tremendous. Bobby the Brain Heenan was classic on commentary. Macho Man, Jim Ross. I mean, I love that pay-per-view. It's so near and dear to my heart. Tatanka and Lex Luger went to a draw. The winner of that match was supposed to wrestle Bigelow in the semifinals. They went to a 15-minute draw, and he went right to the finals. He was fresh as a daisy. So Bret Hart, he had to go through Razor Ramon. He had to go through Mr. Perfect. He goes into the finals with Bigelow with broken hands, broken fingers, right? And then a cracked rib or bruised ribs from Mr. Perfect. Bret wrestled nearly 15 minutes against Razor. He wrestled nearly 30 minutes against Mr. Perfect and then goes to wrestle Bigelow in the finals. Look at the story that he overcame throughout the entire tournament. Then you're going to get Triple H. I'm assuming he's going to do it right down to what it needs to be. 15 minutes for the first round. Some matches could end in 5 to 10 minutes. Right? It's not going to be, and not every match is going to be a fucking 20-minute for a King of the Ring tournament match. There's going to be boundaries. There's going to be time limits. This is great. This is absolutely fantastic. I love everything about this. Now, it's going to be Queen of the Ring included. I don't know how I feel about that, but only time will tell to see how the format, including both tournaments, will work out on pay-per-view. Don Morocco, in 1985, won the inaugural King of the Ring tournament at a house show. First ever King of the Ring pay-per-view aired in 1993, which I just talked about, won by Bret the Hitman Hart. And due to declining buy rates, Vince McMahon canceled the yearly pay-per-view after the 2002 edition of the show. Well, Vince is not here. Who gives a fuck what Vince did back in 2002? It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be the bridge that is in the middle of WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Your WrestleMania, event is going to lead right into the King of the Ring, and the King of the Ring is going to give way to the SummerSlam main event. So right out of the King of the Ring, whether it happens in June or July, is going to give way to a SummerSlam main event, either for the Universal or WWE Championships. So coming out of the King of the Ring tournament, you're going to have 2 matches already made for SummerSlam. It's great. It gives the writing team and it gives Triple H some leeway into thinking what they want to do and then map out what they want to do going into SummerSlam. And 2 of your biggest matches are already taken care of. And this is going to happen. It should happen. I don't know if it is going to happen. WrestleVote seems to think it's going to happen. It should happen. And then Money in the Bank needs to be removed. The gimmick of Money in the Bank as its own pay-per-view needs to die. Money in the Bank needs to go back to WrestleMania. Women's Money in the Bank on Saturday night at WrestleMania. Men's Money in the Bank happening on Sunday at WrestleMania on night 2. Simple. And then King of the Ring can take its rightful place as one of the big 5 alongside Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. I love it. This is brilliant. I can't wait. There's going to be such a huge announcement when it's made, and can't wait to see what Triple H has in store for the King of the Ring. War Games. WWE is planning craziness for War Games at Survivor Series. Brian Alvarez reported on Twitter to his super followers that fans can expect some craziness at the Survivor Series during the War Games matches, both for the women and the men. The reason for this is that WWE needs footage for future video packages because all they have right now is War Games from NXT. Most of the footage they have primarily features NXT talent that is no longer with the company because Bruce and Vince fired most of them. The first War Games match in NXT happened in 2017, and every wrestler involved in the match is no longer with the WWE. The match featured the Undisputed Era versus the Authors of Pain versus Sanity. It was a 3-team War Games match. In 2018, the Undisputed Era faced Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders. Incredible matches, both of them. The 2019 edition of War Games featured once again the Undisputed Era. They wrestled Tommaso Ciampa, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and Kevin Owens, which I think was the best War Games match of the NXT ones. Then the Undisputed Era in 2020 faced off against Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burch, and Oney Lorcan. Now, the only footage that includes all current talent is last year's War Games, which featured Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight. That is Black and Gold NXT versus 2.0 NXT of Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo. I mean, the match was fine. I mean, but the match should not ever, ever, ever again be conducted at fucking a gymnasium inside the WWE Performance Center in front of those fucking geek fans in Orlando, Florida. I mean, it just took away from the overall match itself, doing it in front of 200 fucking people. I would have never done it to begin with. But they're planning craziness for the Survivor Series and War Games. You know, they film everything. They want to create the highlight packages and the video packages, and they want to tout that, they have everything documented about how crazy it was, and they made history and all this shit, documentaries, and, this is going to be a string. It's going to be a lineage of things now for the main roster. This is going to be a staple every year for Survivor Series. So they're going to want, obviously, something major happening for the first time ever on the main roster. And Triple H is going to go above and beyond to give us that level of craziness, which is great. We don't know who's going to be involved. We know the women are involved. We got Damage Control with Nikki Cross against Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss. We don't know who else is going to be added to Team Bianca. We don't know the additional slot or who's going to be added to Team Damage Control, but I'm assuming the Bloodline's going to be involved as well with the War Games situation. I think we're going to get War Games versus the Brawling Brutes in the New Day. That's my prediction. So it's going to be great. I'm super pumped for Survivor Series and War Games, man. If you guys have not ever watched a War Games match, you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to say, finally, Survivor Series feels like Survivor Series. And it's going to be tremendous in Boston. So I can't wait to see what craziness Triple H has in store. But Brian Alvarez is reporting that WWE is going to go above and beyond and give us a little bit of fucking crazy in Boston for Survivor Series, which, it's called War Games. Why the fuck not? John Cena. John Cena, supposedly, there's a rumor that John Cena is returning to the ring at WrestleMania 39. Now, John Cena returned to WWE TV to celebrate his 20th anniversary with the company this past June on Raw and was introduced by Vince McMahon, who was in the middle of an investigation. The investigation that Vince McMahon was under, it was wiped clean. He is gone. He is not coming back to the WWE. He cost the company $19.4 million. Now, John Cena supposedly was supposed to be doing something at SummerSlam. This was the rumor. Supposedly doing something with Austin Theory at SummerSlam. And I believe John Cena did not want to wrestle for WWE in light of the investigation that was ongoing with Vince McMahon because he did not want his name attached to WWE while the investigation was being conducted on Vince McMahon because of his own happenings and his own movie career and his own acting career. He didn't want any negative press to come along with that. So he stayed away. That's my prediction for that. So John Cena stayed away. But the rumor was he was supposed to wrestle Austin Theory at SummerSlam. Now, although there was speculation that Cena was there to announce a SummerSlam match with Austin Theory, that did not happen. Instead, Cena stated he was going to be wrestling again, but not sure when. While speaking with Give Me Sport, WrestleVotes noted that Cena is expected to be wrestling at WrestleMania next year in Los Angeles, although it's unclear who he would wrestle at the events. WrestleVotes says, and I quote, Cena should be there and Cena should be wrestling. There's been speculation that Cena would be less likely to wrestle for WWE following Vince McMahon's departure, but according to WrestleVotes, that is not the case. They said the same thing about Brock Lesnar with Triple H taking over, and Brock Lesnar walked out of that one SmackDown, if you guys remember, throwing a hissy fit because Vince McMahon retired, and then he ended up coming back and everything was smooth over. WrestleVote says, and I quote, I know he touches base every so often, and although Vince is out of the picture, Cena still has a love for WWE. Cena and Triple H have a great respect for each other, end quote. WrestleVotes also explained that Cena wants to become the next Rock And a match at WrestleMania 39 in Los Angeles will help with that. WrestleMania is still WrestleMania, and it's in Los Angeles. If Cena is legitimately trying to be the next Rock, says WrestleVotes, you should perform at WrestleMania in Hollywood, and I think he'll be there, and I think it'll be wrestling. I'll leave it at that. So WWE is really trying to make this the biggest WrestleMania ever. If they get Dwayne against Roman, and then they get Cena on the card, that's going to be a mega 1-2 punch for WWE. Now, who do we put against John Cena if he does wrestle for WWE? Who does John Cena wrestle at WrestleMania? I got 3 names. One of them I would like more so than the others, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Number 1, I'd love to see John Cena go against Austin Theory. I think that would be a safe match. I think that would be something that they wanted to do but couldn't at SummerSlam. And now with Theory kind of hitting a reset for what he's doing, they took the Money in the Bank off of him. I could see them building towards that. Now he doesn't have to be straddled with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he can go on and they could build him differently without the Money in the Bank briefcase. That's not going to be hampering him down. So Cena and Theory, with Theory building himself up, getting some wins, becoming a bigger star, and then going after John Cena at WrestleMania to give him that one big exclamation point, that one big statement win, would be tremendous for Austin Theory. And I know there were a lot of people out there saying that Austin Theory was buried on Monday, and it looks that way with the creative that was, because it didn't really make any sense. The creative was so fucking loopy, and it was just out there. Nothing made sense about it. I could see where people thought that Austin Theory was buried, but to me, it was only very obvious that Triple H was undoing all the wrongs that Vince McMahon did in that particular situation with Austin Theory, and he wanted to change it. He didn't want the Money in the Bank briefcase to be hampering his creative decisions going into WrestleMania season, so he decided to take it off of him. It looked stupid. It sounded fucking stupid, but he did it. And I don't think people are really complaining about it anyway. He was never going to win the World Championship, so what the fuck is he doing with the briefcase? He's not beating Roman. WWE, you got to understand, WWE is going to have Roman hold the championships well beyond the expiration date of Austin Theory even cashing that motherfucker in. So they figured, well, he's not cashing in, and both world championships are on Roman, and we're not having him beat Roman, so why not? Now, they could have done it a different way. He could have cashed in on Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker could have been called up to the main roster, but they didn't go and do that. So the creative decision on Monday was a little fucking ridiculous. He cashed in on a U.S. title. It makes him look stupid. And then he cashed in on a U.S. title where the U.S. title is being put on the line in an open challenge. The only thing that would save him, it's fucking ridiculous that he even wanted to cash in on a United States Championship. The only thing that would save him in this case, nobody knows why he wanted the United States Championship in that situation, but Rollins may not have been in the best of shape to wrestle. The trainers and the officials might not have allowed Seth Rollins to wrestle after Bobby Lashley destroyed him on Monday. But cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase definitely 100% ensured Austin Theory was going to get a championship match, because at that point, he can do whatever he wants with it. So as soon as he cashes in, he's guaranteed a match, no matter what the situation is. So that is the only saving grace. But at the end of the day, I'm not making excuses for that. I'm not going to hang my hat on that explanation. It didn't make sense, and it sounded fucking stupid. Austin Theory versus John Cena. Build him up, give him a match, have him beat Cena, and he's on his way to superstardom. Edge. This is the one match that I want. We don't know when John Cena is going to go away. Edge, reportedly, the last time we heard from Edge is that he's going to retire next year. I hope that's not the case. If he still has some mileage left, I'd love for him to stick around, because Edge is one of the best parts of WWE television, even at his age. He's incredible. Everything that Edge does, he makes better. And I think John Cena and Edge, when you talk about John Cena and his greatest rivals, you're going to mention CM Punk, you're going to mention Randy Orton, Triple H, right? The Rock. To me, it's Edge. So if we get Edge retiring next year, I honestly think his last WrestleMania should be against his greatest rival, which is John Cena. That's just me. It doesn't even have to be anything. Two guys at this stage of their career going at it, because why the fuck not? Build a story around it. I'm sure they can come up with something really captivating. And the third one, which is a wild card, would be, and he already wrestled Roman, so why the fuck not? Why not go right for the next top guy that's still semi there? What about John Cena versus Logan Paul? John Cena versus Logan Paul, to me, would be an absolute marquee match for WrestleMania. That would be tremendous. And with Logan Paul already proving everybody wrong and going out there and optimizing his time and showing everybody how good he really is, if he did what he did with Rowan, why wouldn't he be able to do the same thing with John Cena? And John Cena would be game. John Cena would buckle down, and he would do things that I don't think John Cena has done in a very long time against somebody like Logan Paul. And I think that would be a great back and forth with John Cena and how we know he is on the microphone going up against Logan Paul. I think that would be great. So those are the three, to me, with John Cena potentially and his opponents at WrestleMania. It's going to be definitely a talking point coming into next year's WrestleMania. What's a talking point right now is Bray Wyatt. Hottest thing, not only in WWE, but in all of pro wrestling, is Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt reportedly wants Triple H to bring back 2 former WWE superstars. Triple H brought back several release stars, most of which have been fired by Vince McMahon, and Triple H has brought them back, one of them including Bray Wyatt. Now that Wyatt has returned to WWE, there are 2 people he wants to work with now that he's back, according to WrestleVotes, and Erick Rowan, along with Bo Dallas, Bray's real-life brother, are the 2 names. WrestleVotes report suggests that Wyatt has so much influence in the company right now because of his popularity that higher-ups in WWE would bring them back if those 2 stars were interested in coming back to work for WWE. WrestleVote says, and I quote, "There's people that Bray likes that he wants to work with." WrestleVotes told Give Me Sport, Bo Dallas is one of them, and so is Erick Rowan. If Erick wants to come back, I'm sure they'd allow it if Bray also wanted it. Fans have been speculating about the identity of the Uncle Howdy character, which may have been revealed after fans pointed out a similarity that he shares with Bo Dallas, which is nothing more than a diamond cross earring on his right ear. I don't know. Brian Alvarez previously reported that Bo Dallas is expected back in the company through a report that surfaced on Wrestling Observer, which would make sense for Dallas to be in the group that his brother Bray will end up leading. Rowan being in the group would also make sense due to Rowan's history with Bray in the Wyatt family. This is not a confirmation. I know Alvarez has thrown it out there about Bo Dallas. Erick Rowan really hasn't done much of anything. He's worked some indies. He's worked AEW a couple of times. Not really the most important role in AEW. He's just one-off appearances here and there. He did something for the celebratory episode where they honored Brody Lee, after he passed away. So he was there. He did that. Bray may want Erick Rowan back in the company because he was closely linked to Brody Lee, and he wants that influence, and he wants that there, maybe as a part to honor Brody Lee. And if they bring Erick Rowan back, it may be somewhat similar to what we saw with their Wyatt family faction. I think that would be great. I want to see something more along the lines of the Wyatt family. I don't want to see this supernatural fiend funhouse garbage. I'd like to see something that's a little bit more humanized, like the Wyatt family, because I think that was Bray's best work in all of his WWE run. Bo Dallas, I mean, it's just self-explanatory. Bo is Bray's brother, so why not? If Bo wants to come back, I know he said, I think Mike Rotunda, the father of both Wyndham and Bo Dallas, the father of both of them, IRS, said that they do want to wrestle. And if the opportunity is right and it presents itself, they will be back. They're just, minding their own business, and they're taking care of what they need to do, and they're doing outside projects, and they're keeping themselves busy. So I think that would be great. I mean, these 2 guys make sense. I know there were rumors about WWE going out and getting Vincent and Dutch of the Righteous from Ring of Honor and Impact. I mean, it works. Vincent, if you look at Vincent and all the rumors surrounding the Righteous and Vincent, I mean, he fits what the Wyatt family should be looking for as far as aesthetics down to a T. I mean, he looks fucking great. he would fit right in there with the group. A lot of people thought that he was Uncle Howdy just based off the similarities of his facial features. People really went in depth with that. The mustache. Then we seen Uncle Howdy kind of present himself, and it ended up being someone in a fucking mask. That sounds like Bray, but it could be Bo. We don't know. Bo may already be signed to the company. He may be Uncle Howdy for all we know. But this is good news. The one thing that we need is familiarity with Bray Wyatt. I think familiarity with Bray is going to go a long way. And I think familiarity is going to be something that the fans really cling to and enjoy. That's what I feel he needs. He needs that familiarity around him. You know, I know everybody's getting excited about a potential Liv Morgan inclusion, or we see these teases with Alexa Bliss every week. There's a Bray Wyatt logo and everything Alexa Bliss does. I don't know if they're going to tie up loose ends or if she's going to be directly involved with him. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it is, whatever's going to happen, clearly it's interesting. And it's good to know that under this new administration that Bray has influence. And if he says something and he wants something, they're going to give it to him. It's already changed for him. Because under Vince McMahon, that would have never been. Vince McMahon would have taken over the entire project and he would have put his fucking DNA all over it and then excluded Wyndham. And we wouldn't be getting anywhere close to what we're getting now if Vince McMahon was still there. Triple H is letting Bray and his writing team, we got people specifically writing alongside Bray and working alongside Bray to get out all these campaigns and the viral campaigns and the QR codes. Whatever they want, whatever they come up with, if Bray asks for something that's going to enhance the overall product for whatever he's doing, they're going to give it to him. He's already proven to be a ratings draw. He's already proven to be a numbers draw. Look at the interest that WWE generated for Extreme Rules, the most popular and most lucrative Extreme Rules pay-per-view numbers-wise that they've ever done. And look at the numbers on SmackDown. They're right there. When Roman is not there, Bray is there, and people are watching for Bray. So yes, he's going to get what he wants. But like I said, familiarity is something that I feel like is going to be a huge positive for whatever Bray Wyatt does moving forward. Bobby Roode. Man, do I miss Glorious. I miss Glorious Bobby Roode. Glorious Bobby Roode is one of the best heels in all of the industry when he was working in NXT. Fucking great. Man, do I miss those times. In September, Bobby Roode, veteran of the roster, never used the right way under Vince McMahon, indicated on Instagram that he was dealing with injuries, and he posted a photo from South Lake Orthopedics in Birmingham, Alabama, and mentioned returning home after what he hoped was a successful trip. Roode thanks South Lake and Andrew Sports Medicine, which usually handles surgeries for injured WWE stars. He also attached a photo to the post that indicated he underwent surgery, but he did not elaborate on why he was visiting the doctors, maybe to get clearance to come back to the WWE. PW Insider reported that Bobby Roode was spotted in Birmingham on Wednesday, and WWE officials hope he will be back from injury issues relatively soon. Although he's still listed as a Raw star, there's been talk within WWE about him working on SmackDown once he returns. There's still no word on why Roode has been out of action. He was aligned with Dolph Ziggler before he went on hiatus. Good. SmackDown would be the perfect home for him. I think with what he does, he wears that blue robe. Put him on the blue brand. You know, I feel like we need some solid mid-card acts on SmackDown. And look at the mid-card that we're developing on SmackDown. You got Sheamus. You got, Pete Dunne. You got Ricochet. You got Madcap Moss. You got Gunther. You got LA Knight. You got Ricochet. Now you're going to add Bobby Roode to that? That's a solid fucking division for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, Gunther's not losing that championship anytime soon unless it's to Sheamus, which I hope would happen at WrestleMania. But adding Bobby Roode back under what he did under Triple H in NXT would give the WWE yet another much-needed heel in the company. And if they're going to do anything with Bobby Roode, they need to go back and do what they did with him when he was NXT champion. That was absolute perfection as a heel. The only other heel in NXT that was even close, he was number one. Ciampa was number one. Roode was right under Tommaso Ciampa as the best heel in NXT history. So if you're going to bring him back, he needs to be back as Glorious Bobby Roode. No doubt about it. And I'm sure he would actually appreciate that as well. because he did nothing. He was just a generic nobody under Vince McMahon, teaming with Dolph Ziggler. They took the fucking theme music away from him. They took Glorious away from him because Vince said, well, he's a heel, but people are singing his theme. We got to take it away from him. So they gave him a generic theme. Unbelievable. They took his fucking theme away. Well, they made him babyface. They didn't take the theme away initially. They made him a babyface. But it was a heel. Then they paired him with Dolph Ziggler, and you really never heard it again. The Dirty Dogs. They were fucking channel-changing garbage every week. Glorious Bobby Roode needs to come back. Monday Night Raw. Austin Theory made history with his failed cash-in against Seth Rollins. Now, Austin Theory held the Money in the Bank briefcase since July 2nd, and he won it and cashed it on Monday's episode of Raw against Seth Rollins for the United States Championship. Rollins issued an open challenge for the title in the main event. Ali wanted to answer the call. Bobby Lashley said no, beat the shit out of Ali. Then Bobby Lashley accepted the challenge. Lashley then brutally attacked Rollins and finished the attack by slamming Rollins through the announce table. This was all done before the bell, so the match never happened. Austin Theory then cashed in his briefcase because he wanted to take advantage and ensure himself a championship, and he thought this was the best opportunity to do so. Rollins ended up turning things around. Theory hit a clown down, but Lashley interfered and attacked Theory and basically ruined the match for Austin Theory. Rollins eventually hit the stomp and won the match. Now, even though Theory did not win the title, he still made history on Monday night, as he was the first to do so when opting to challenge for a secondary championship instead of a world championship. Now, that was not in the rules. Now, I wish WWE would have done things differently. Like I said, I wish he would have went down to NXT and won the NXT title. I could see him winning the NXT title against Braun Breaker, but they didn't want to do that. Triple H feels like he's ready for the main roster. The only thing that was keeping him down was the Money in the Bank briefcase, but he ended up cashing in the briefcase for a United States Championship and lost. This was the first Money in the Bank briefcase that was cashed in for a secondary title. So Austin Theory now joins Baron Corbin and John Cena for failed cash-ins for that briefcase. He's got some notable company on the bench there, does Austin Theory. Theory previously had attempted to cash in on Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. That was at SummerSlam, but he ate an F5 from Brock Lesnar. Theory also teased going after Braun Breaker in the NXT Championship, which would have marked another first for Money in the Bank, as no one has ever cashed in for the men's NXT World Championship. Could have been done better, but listen, at the end of the day, we're now on Thursday going into Friday. I don't really have a problem with what they did. It really insulted people's intelligence on Monday, but I think people are going to quickly get over it because the Money in the Bank briefcase was a hindrance to TV. Him coming out with that thing every fucking week and doing nothing with it was just fucking stupid. And all of this could have been avoided if Vince McMahon went ahead and gave Seth Rollins the Money in the Bank briefcase when he should have won it then. That's when he should have won it. Seth Rollins should have been Money in the Bank briefcase holder. He should have been the man holding the briefcase. After what he did with Cody, he should have won the fucking briefcase. I don't think if Seth Rollins was the Money in the Bank briefcase holder, I don't think we'd be here talking about him cashing in against fucking secondary titles. Seth Rollins would still probably be Mr. Money in the Bank. The fact that it was Austin Theory, they needed to get that off of him to go ahead and do what they needed to do going into November, December, January, and all the way up until WrestleMania. They didn't want that to be a problem. I have no problem with it, and neither should you. WWE also retired the 24/7 title, as that was defended by Dana Brooke on television for the first time in many weeks. I don't know why. Nobody wants to see the 24/7 title, and nobody wants to see Dana Brooke. So we got a double whammy of no. Nikki Cross won the title in about 2 minutes. She then won the title, took the title to the back, and what looked to be, probably on purpose, she looked to dump the title in the trash, but she missed, and all you heard is the clanking of the title hitting the concrete. Good. And now if you go to WWE.com, you see the 24/7 title retired. It's in the retired section. WWE used this in comedy skits where wrestlers, referees, celebrities, legends could win at any time. It was basically a take on the Hardcore Championship, just a lot less cooler. And the comedy segments were clearly a favorite of Bruce and Vince McMahon, but Triple H sees this as, lessening of his product. He doesn't want any of this shit to go along with what he has as far as the vision is concerned for the main roster. That's not his vision. That's Vince's vision. Vince wants the cringy, stupid, lame comedy that came along with it. Good. I'm not Vince McMahon, says Paul Levesque. We're getting rid of it, and I'm going to have Nikki Cross, my girl, dump it in the trash. Good. Good riddance. It's gone. Never again will we see that championship. Mia Yim, she returned on Monday. She returned as part of the OC as the equalizer to Rhea Ripley and Judgment Day. Judgment Day was interrupted, and soon after the OC went out to the ring, Mia Yim appeared from the crowd and attacked Rhea Ripley with a kendo stick as a big brawl broke out between the two. Mia Yim's return was first reported last week by several outlets. The belief was that she was on her way back after finishing up with Impact Wrestling. Also, keep in mind that Triple H is planning a Queen of the Ring tournament. He wants the best talent that he can find for the first Queen of the Ring tournament. And Mia Yim more than likely will be a part of that. If you guys go back to the Mae Young Classic that Triple H has done as part of the NXT brand, which was on the WWE Network before they moved to Peacock, those Mae Young Classics were fucking incredible tournaments. Everybody in those tournaments was a standout, man. Indie talent coming over, working the tournament. Most of those ladies got signed to NXT. It was a great scouting session as well for NXT. They used that tournament to scout, women that might not have been seen before. So the Queen of the Ring tournament, this is now main roster Triple H. He's got a main roster budget. He's got solid names for this thing. I'd love to see it. He's bolstering this division because he's got big plans for the women's division moving forward. And Mia Yim wrongfully was terminated. She never got an opportunity on the main roster. She was concealed in a mask in Retribution, never really even seen her face, and Triple H brought her back. And I'm happy to see her back. She's going to be a good addition to the Monday Night Raw women's division. WWE has also announced that the 30th anniversary show for Monday Night Raw will be taking place on January 23rd. This episode is also slated to be the go-home show for the Royal Rumble. So January 23rd, 2023, Monday Night Raw go-home show for the Royal Rumble will also be their 30th anniversary. They unveiled a logo that says Raw XXX, or Raw is XXX. And it's also in the same font and the same image of Raw is War. So basically, it is the old school Monday Night Raw is War logo, but it says Raw is XXX. Now, I urge you not to go look up on Google what Raw is XXX is, because you're going to find things that you may not want to see. Or maybe you do. I don't fucking know. Get your mind out of the gutter. But please do not Google. If you have kids around, do not Google the Raw is XXX, please. Don't. Tickets go on sale for that November 18th, and there is rumors that WWE may be doing that in the Manhattan Center, or possibly like what they did not too long ago for other anniversary shows, where they did Barclays Center and Manhattan Center dual feed at the same time. So we will see what happens. I would love to see it emanate from just the Manhattan Center. I think WWE could get away with that. So only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Raw was home in the Manhattan Center for most of the early days of Monday Night Raw. NXT. Cameron Grimes will be the next NXT star to get called up to the main roster. This past Tuesday on NXT, Cameron Grimes faced off against Joe Gacy in a singles match, but was quickly beaten by Gacy thanks to interference from Ava Raine. While speaking on today's Observer, Dave Meltzer noted that there are plans to bring Grimes to the main roster following his program with Joe Gacy. Alvarez noted that WWE is looking for him to finish up this feud based on what the finish of this match was. Cameron Grimes is supposed to go to the main roster, says Brian Alvarez. I was told he's going to finish up with Joe Gacy and then go to the main roster. Cameron Grimes made a surprise appearance on Raw last month to get the help of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson to be his tag team partners against Schism, Joe Gacy, Jagger Reed, and Rip Fowler in a six-man tag the following night on NXT. The babyfaces went over Schism. Before that episode of Raw, Grimes wrestled the match against Akira Tozawa on Main Event. Triple H has been bringing up stars from NXT and signing wrestlers who have been released by the company since taking over from creative in WWE from Vince McMahon. Cameron Grimes is more than ready for the main roster. Cameron Grimes is more than ready to go. He's been down there, and I think it's time. I did really enjoy the rich boy gimmick, the rich Southern guy gimmick that he used to do in NXT, to the moon and, counting his money and stocks and NFTs and all this other shit. He was flaunting money around. He was in that nice little feud with LA Knight over the $1 Million Championship. I thought that was great stuff. I think all three of those guys, DiBiase, LA Knight, and Cameron Grimes, really sold that. And it was easily one of the best things on television for NXT at that time. I don't know what they're doing with Cameron Grimes. He can go one of two ways. You can go back to that, which I would love to see, or he can be brought up the way he is right now, but he doesn't really have any character. Cameron Grimes doesn't really have a character on NXT television, and I don't know what they plan to do with him on the main roster. But Cameron Grimes, if you let him go, he's a great wrestler. Cameron Grimes has Daniel Bryan just feel about him. He's got Daniel Bryan-esque qualities to him, dating back to when Bryan was in the midst of the Yes movie. You get Cameron Grimes to get some momentum underneath him as that underdog babyface. He could play. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's going to be the next Daniel Bryan or anything, but he's got qualities that could get the fans behind him in a way like they get behind a babyface who's considered an underdog. But you can only go that far with somebody like that. I would love to see him have a gimmick because he's very talented at what he does, and he's very charismatic. So we'll see what happens with Cameron Grimes, but he's ready for the main roster. And Brian Alvarez believes he's about to get called up to the main roster. And Adam Page. Adam Page is no longer on Twitter. Adam Page has left Twitter. Hangman Page no longer on Twitter after the Elon Musk acquisition. Adam Page is the latest athlete/celebrity to leave Twitter after Elon Musk's acquisition of Twitter. Page did not say why he deleted his account, but he did say he would be deleting it from his phone. So he may be sitting at home in his office on an off day, drinking a cup of coffee, doing cowboy shit, and he may be logging into Twitter via his PC or Apple device. We don't know. But off of his phone, it's deleted. Now, he is not as active as many other accounts, so this may stick. And this tweet that he put out this week, it may be the last we've seen of him on the platform. Now, we know Mick Foley, he recently left Twitter because he did not agree with Elon Musk in the way he has conducted himself, and he has deleted the app completely and now is off the platform completely. Page did not outright say that his exit is related to Musk like Mick Foley did, but the timing kind of matches up, especially on the eve of what happened with the midterm elections earlier in the week. Page also included some helpful links where people can keep up with him and book him. In related news, I mentioned Mick Foley. Mick Foley briefly returned to Twitter to send out a very important message that you can see. I don't know if he's deleted his account, but you can go on social media and I believe find it somewhere. Foley deleted his account a few days ago, and it looks like he will be done with social media after the last tweet he put up. He says, I quote, "I'm back on Twitter for one day, so I can plead with all of you not to give your vote to election deniers. Inflation rises and falls, gas prices will go down, but once our democracy is gone, it's not coming back. Democracy is on the ballot." I would prefer people that I have grown up with to not talk about things that more than likely their audience is not following them for. Mick Foley, how many people has Mick Foley lost because of his beliefs in politics and whatever else he spews on social media? Now he's off the platform because Elon Musk acquired Twitter, and apparently he feels like whatever narrative he was pushing was going to be silenced, and all because his narrative is not being pushed, he feels like it's best for him to get off the platform. Nobody's going to miss Mick Foley off Twitter. I'm sorry. Elon Musk apparently wants to bring back free speech. As long as people conduct themselves in the right way, which we know will not be the case, I am okay with free speech being, taken to social media. But Adam Page, I don't know who followed Adam, who here followed Adam Page, who here is on Twitter and specifically is on Twitter for Adam Page. We all love Hangman, but Twitter, who gives a fuck? We can see him every Wednesday night on Dynamite. Anyway. That's all I got for you guys, man. I appreciate you all hanging out with me for a little bit on this Thursday afternoon. We are going to go over whatever super chats we got, man. We got a couple super chats in here. I'd appreciate it if you guys hit the thumbs up. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. We got 1,300 in here, man. We should have at least 700. Can we at least get 700 likes on the live stream? So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Memberships are open. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out. Follow me on social media at JD from NY 206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Make sure you guys go check out the Monday Night Raw post show from Monday. AEW Dynamite from last night. Jesse and I were live with the post show. Go and check that out. And I'll be live again tomorrow night with the SmackDown post show right here on OTS from the OTS venue. Also, please hit that subscribe button as well and turn on the bell for all notifications. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 139,000 subscribers here on the channel. We are almost there. Super chats, man. We got one from Tyler. Tyler with a $4.99 super chat. I'm going to my first AEW show with my dad on January 6th. I'm excited. I went to my first WWE pay-per-view, which was WrestleMania this year, both nights. AEW may be cold right now, Tyler. They may be uninspired right now, but they do put on a very exciting show, and they do have a great live experience. I can attest. Prodigy RKO, 16 months. Thank you, brother. 16-month channel membership. Looking forward to this OTS on my birthday. Just want to say thank you, JD, for everything this last year and all he's done for OTS and the venue. Grateful heart emoji. Thank you so much, man. And happy birthday, Prodigy RKO. Let me see those birthday cake emojis in the chat for Prodigy RKO. Lord J. Coyle with a $2 super chat. This week gets worse. My dog Taz had a seizure. I'm sorry to hear that, Coyle. I hate hearing shit like that, bro. Thoughts and prayers to Lord J. Coyle and his dog Taz. Fujins Henry with a 8-month. Thank you, brother. Mick Rockland stopped by my live stream the other day. I told him I learned of him from you after you played Follow the Light, hashtag OTS for life, hashtag get him out. Mick Rockland's a talented motherfucker, man. Now, why was he in your live stream the other day? That is crazy. You gotta tell me your secrets, brother. The Script Keeper with a 4-month. The best looking, sounding, and informative podcast run by the smartest man in the IWC. 4 months and counting. OTS and JD for life. Script Keeper, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you, man. Comments of the stream, no doubt about it. Ghost Sniper 35 with a new membership, and he leaves a $10 super chat. Love to see it. Could you see if this is a pay-per-view, not only the women, but a men's tag team as well, King of the Ring tournament, not just a men's tournament? Ghost Sniper, I'd love to see something done like that in time. If WWE ever did something like that, I'd like to see it in the way of the Mae Young Classic. Women coming from all over the globe to come and do the tournament. I'd love to see a World Tag Team Tournament. I'd love to see a World Cup tournament style of tag teams. Something that's very similar to what WWE did as far as the presentation with the Mae Young Classic. I think that would be fantastic. Metalhead for Life with a 12 months and a $2.99 super chat. Thank you, Metalhead for Life. Grimsley with a $10 super chat. Love you, man. I've got Cody winning the Rumble. I feel like this Rumble and Mania are going to be amazing. I also have Caden Carter and Katana Chance moving up after Mania. I'm a big supporter of them. I think they're great. I think Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro or Katana Chance now are one of the best well-oiled machines as far as tag teams in the women's division that we've seen, because they are legit best friends, and I believe they do live together. So I would love to see that. Grimsley also with several other super chats. He got a 5, a 2, and a 2. I feel like people are forgetting all the dumb things Theory did in NXT. He had the worst ideas and segments. Goes along with his airhead mentality. I mean, he was part of the way with Johnny Gargano. He was supposed to play a comedian and a dummy. Keep that in mind. Grimsley also says, remember JD, Queen Zelina. The accent was terrible. And Xavier Woods did nothing for the King of the Ring men's side either. He made it into a joke. They're getting Corbin ready to tag team with Grimes. I could see it. I honestly could really see it. I would not want to do that to Cameron Grimes because I think Baron Corbin's a charisma vacuum. But I could see it. And then Paul Jackson with a $5 super chat. Oh, you didn't know? Bret Hart isn't that great of a wrestler, according to Road Dogg. Quick thoughts, JD. Paul Jackson. I talked about this on the AEW Dynamite post show last night, brother. We talked about it briefly on that. I think Road Dogg is, he might have had a little too much to drink before that podcast was recorded, bro. There's no way anybody should say ever in any wrestling circle that Bret is not a great wrestler. If you do, you're clearly unintelligent. It's not even, something like that is not even an opinion. It's not even an opinion. Bret is nothing but a great wrestler. He is a great, he was incredible at what he did. Was he the most charismatic guy in the industry? No, he didn't need to be. Bret made money. Bret made a lot of money based off who he was and the work that he did. It got him a $3 million a year contract with WCW, so clearly something was done right. Whatever Bret did, he made a lot of money off of it. I think Bret could rest easy knowing that he's one of the most influential figures in the entire industry, in the entire history of pro wrestling. How many people have watched Bret Hart matches and wanted to emulate Bret Hart? How many people watched Bret Hart matches and wanted to be Bret that man Hart? He just exuded cool, right? I think Road Dogg was a little silly for those comments, to be quite honest with you. I don't know why he went on his show and said that. Just a stupid comment. Anyway, guys, I am about to get out of here, man. I appreciate you. A little bit of extra on this Thursday afternoon. Doesn't hurt anybody. It's happy hour. Why the fuck not? I gave you guys the news. Basically, kind of covered Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There really hasn't been much news yet, but next time you see me, I'll see you guys live on Friday for SmackDown. We'll be live for SmackDown. And then I'll see you live back here for episode 452 on Sunday. As we get ready for Survivor Series. We got Full Gear coming up first and then Survivor Series. Should be a busy rest of the month of November. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. 700 likes is the goal. I would appreciate you guys to hit that thumbs up. And make sure you guys go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. There's plenty of it. Monday Night Raw. First of all, go back to Sunday's episode of 451. That's there. We did that. We did Crown Jewel last weekend. Monday Night Raw. I skipped Tuesday because nobody watches NXT. Wednesday night, Jesse and I were live for Dynamite. Today, we were live with Extra. Tomorrow, I'll be live with SmackDown. Get caught up, man. Everything you need is on the homepage. Would really appreciate that. And I want to thank you guys again, man. Enjoy the rest of your Thursdays going into Friday. And I will see you back live right here on OTS from the venue for SmackDown tomorrow night. I'll see you guys later.